Hey everyone, so today is December 27th and it is the annual bird count. So out here in Napanee and various places around the world, we do a bird count, which is basically looking at seeing what birds are in our area and about how many. And this is done by looking at the maximum number of birds that you can find at any one time. So if you found, say, in my case, 4 chickadees, and then I see 2 chickadees later, I would count it as 4 chickadees. Except for if you have visible speciations, like if you're able to tell a male of a species, like a red cardinal, versus a female species, which is brown. If you see one of each, you can count that as 2 cardinals. So I'm out here, we're just walking the property because of COVID today. So we're gonna see what we can find. And of course I have my camera here with me to take some photos, which I will share now in the video. So the first bird feeder on the lower side of the property had a couple birds around. There was a couple buntings that were hiding up in the trees and a couple chickadees that were around. I also found a white-breasted nuthatch, and there was 3 crows up in the trees as well. All right, so let's go. We're heading towards our second feeder right now, which is over here beside the garage and my observatory. So the second bird feeder is a very popular place for birds. It's farther away from the house, so I found that this had a large number of chickadees that were visiting it. I managed to count up to 9 individuals as they sort of came and went, keeping an eye on which ones were going where. And overall, the chickadees seemed to be prevalent here. So I should mention that I'm using the Nikon Z6 with the 300mm f4 lens, and right here is the 1.7 times adapter, which gives me 512. It makes this my longest, sharpest lens that isn't a telescope, and there's a lot of birds around. Now, birds aren't really seeing a lot in color, so I can walk around in this flashy coloring wear right now, but yep. There's quite a few of them around, and we're just trying to see how many different types. We're up to 9 chickadees. I think we're up to 4 buntings. No, we're up to 9 chickadees and 4 buntings so far. So I also found some buntings, but that seemed to be the general sum of this, as chickadees basically attacked the bird feeder from every direction. All right, so now we're heading down to the other bird feeder that we have on the property to see what we can sort of find, as that seems to be mainly chickadees now. So let's go and see what we can do. So the last bird feeder on the property just had another bunting and this little sparrow kind of still look up, and then there was also a chickadee that came by at one point. Alright, so we've now moved down to the shoreline, where if I point right here, that's a swan. I think they're mute swans or trumpeter swans, depending on the color of the beak, and I always forget which one's which makes me probably the worst bird in the world, but whatever. I'll look it up on Google. But there's 2 of them out there. There's 1, 2, and yeah, it's not unusual for us to have swans out here. I know we had 6 yesterday, but it looks like the water's frozen up a little bit more, so we just have the 2. I'm gonna have a look and see if we see any more, but yeah, always good find to know the swans are around. I then backtracked up to the top of the property where the road is to sort of see what I could visually observe from the farmers' fields, etc. around our property. I did manage to find a red cardinal and also a female cardinal as well, but I only managed to grab this photo of the male cardinal. I also found these 3 birds in a tree. I'm not sure exactly what species they are from, but they are definitely interesting and not something I'd normally see on the property. So I'm going to definitely look that up. Next, I saw in a further tree very similar birds, but was too far away to identify them, and then they decided to fly away as we approached. Therefore, I have this footage here, but I wouldn't be able to tell you what kind of bird they were for certain. Alright, so we've walked the entire property. We've seen about, I think, 30 birds in total. And we're just gonna head in because it is a little windy and it is a little cold. And in about half an hour, the sun's gonna start going down. It's gonna get really dark soon. So that's it for our annual Christmas bird count. And I hope you enjoyed watching this video. I hope you enjoyed the photos of the birds. And I hope to see you in the next video.